fact, question 1A is technically a grade 11 question because we went back to degrees. But they give us a different domain to look at than normal. Normally you go 0 to 360. This one's saying negative 360 to 0. Does that make sense on your pie plate?
Sorry to interrupt your class.
586. Yeah, this is on page 586. This part right here, think about your pie plate, it would start still at 0, but to negative 360 be once around in the opposite direction, right? So you still have to use your cast rule, you still have to find your reference angle, but now your answers will be negative angles once we're done. So what does that look like? First of all, notice you have some like terms. The 2 sin x and the 4 sin x, they could be combined. I would probably combine them on the right-hand side. Are you okay if I subtract, basically, I subtracted 2 sin x from both sides? That makes sense to have that on that side? Then I would probably subtract 5 on both sides as well. That would just leave me with 2 here. What do we want to do? We want to get the sin x by itself. Divide both sides by 2. That would get my sin x by itself, and I would just get sin x equals 1. Is that on your pie plate? Yes. That happens, y coordinate up here, only at pi over 2. But if I wrote pi over 2, that would be wrong, because the question's not in radians. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll write 90 degrees. Still wrong. Why? It's not in the domain. 90 degrees, this is our answer. Our answer's right up here. I know it's right there, but I'm looking for this direction. What am I going to write? I'm going to write negative 270 degrees. As a rule of thumb, I actually really like writing the 90 or pi over 2. I like solving between 0 and 2 pi first and writing them down. They kind of help me visualize. I know where the point is. And then I think about, oh, but I have to do a new domain. I have to go backwards. And it's easy for me to figure out that it's going to be negative 270 as a result. As far as the general solution, x equals, we only have one answer between 0 and 2 pi. You could either use 90 or 270. I like to use 90. I like to use the first positive one. And since it's in degrees, it'd be 360 times k, where k is an integer. Good? All right. And then B, use algebra to determine the general solution, then list from negative 2 pi to 2 pi. So we're going to start with cos 3x equals negative 1. Do you recognize with the 3x in here, what kind of question is this? Multi-revolution question. What did we do with the multi-revolution questions? First, if we normally solve between 0 and 2 pi, then 3x's would be between 0 and 6 pi.
Hi, excuse the interruption. Your other presenter has arrived. Can you send a student down to bring her up, please?
All right. I'll send the first presenter down. Okay. So we've got between 0 and 6 pi. Then we solve for 3x like normal. Is minus 1 on your pi plate? Yes, it's the axis family. Cos is your x coordinate. Minus 1 is over here at pi. First time around would be pi. Second time around, 3 pi. Third time around, 5 pi. So we can solve for x by dividing each by by 3. Our general solution, maybe I'll make a note here. Right? When we're doing multi-revolution, when you finally get x by itself, you have solved between 0 and 2 pi, because that's when my x started. Then 3 times around would be multi-revolution. And then when I divide by 3, I get back to between 0 and 2 pi. So my general solution, x will equal all 3 of these. Pi over 3, pi, and 5 pi over 3, where plus 2k pi to each of them.
One of your signs is there's no equals to.
One of my signs.
The domain is 0, 0.
I'm just doing a general solution to start. Okay? Then, so I'm going to imagine my general solution. Here's my circle. Which values did I have? I had pi over 3, pi, and 5 pi over 3. Agree? Those are my answers. Okay? So now between negative 2 pi, I'm just working on that right now, but you guys can have it. Between negative 2 pi and 0, I was solving for this. Now I'm looking for this angle, and that angle. And you see the first negative one would be negative pi over 3, would have a reference angle of pi over 3. And the same as pi would be negative pi. And the same as pi over 3 would be negative 5 pi over 3. And you can circle questions 4, 8, and 9.